So we're sitting with Millie, who's sitting in India, and I'm sitting in the United States. She's part of our community who, as the most wonderful supporter of her father's journey with prostate cancer. Why don't you take us back to the day or moment that you first heard that your dad had prostate cancer?
So yeah, I'm a single child, and my dad he is 68 years old. Back in 2023 December, he started having some mild pain in at his lower back, and he's very active, and he does a lot of plantation and gardening and everything. So he thought it's something that is related to gardening, or he's doing something wrong, and he's not sitting correctly, or the posture, or something like that. And trust me when I tell you this, he's never fallen sick. So he started taking pain medications. And meanwhile, someone suggested that, could just get a PSA done. And he went and he got his PSA done. The first time it came as 9. Then he was pretty much confirmed that, the labs are wrong. It's just a off number, and the lab results are not correct. They've done something wrong at the laboratory. So he just waited 1 more month, and the pain aggravated. Then he got another PSA done, which came at 11 the next month, and then the next, like got two done, I guess, and it was all showing a higher number. Then finally, he got one done on 24th of January, and that was at 24. Then he got his biopsy done, and that confirmed he had a TERP and TERP biopsy done, and it was confirmed that it is prostate cancer and Gleason 8, and all 12 core was positive. So with 24, and as soon as I heard it, and I moved to Canada in with my family in June 2022. So I was sitting in Canada and I'm listening to everything. And when they told us, like when my father told me this, and I started, like, the first thing was I went on Reddit, and I started studying about it. And then I read that PSA 24 is not actually that much. I was, and his pain had mildly subsided by then. So he did not say that, he's not having any problems as such. He was fine. So in my head, I'm thinking that, okay, I read on Reddit, and I saw people with 1600s and thousands of PSA. They have something that has spread. Metastasis is something that goes, for me, it was like, okay, when it is like in thousands, then only you have such, advanced disease. And probably at 24, it's just prostate cancer that is localized, and he'll get a prostatectomy done, and everything will be fine. So then he traveled to Delhi, and we found a good doctor, urologist, uro-onco, and he started, getting his treatment done. And then they did the PET scan.
So
Yes.
what was
Yeah.
going on for you feeling wise?
Oh, I was devastated because I was also 5 months pregnant then. So, so I was pregnant. I was expecting my first child, and I was very anxious. It took two psychologists to talk to, two therapists. It took two therapists, and I guess like two sessions every week with two different therapists to bring me out of it. So after he got his PSMA PET scan and they saw that it had spread, the doctor suggested that either you get like a Lupron injections every 3 months, or you get like an orchidectomy done. So he opted for orchidectomy, and they did it in February. And so I traveled with my husband to Patna, to Delhi, to India then, and I was there for like 1 month. But I had to travel back because I did not have a lot of leaves available, and I was almost like, I was progressing into my pregnancy. The uro-oncology oncologist at, in Delhi, and it is also, because we just got to know that it had spread, and we were very, like, we didn't know what to do. We were just at the knowledge of the doctor. So, whatever he said had to be done. So he said orchidectomy, and we said yes, do it. So he did get a Lupron injection, by the way, like on 16th, like 15th he did a PSMA PET scan, and 16th he got his Lupron injection,
Mhm.
and 28th of February he got his orchidectomy done.
So You were on Reddit at the moment you heard that prostate cancer was in the family now, and eventually you found Malecare and our community as well.
Yeah.
So you were really becoming a professional information seeker in that regard.
Yes.
How do you feel that was helpful to your dad, and how do you feel that was helpful to your mom?
To my mom, I think it was helpful because I read a lot of case studies when I was coming to see my dad. So yeah, I told her that, I there was a lot of comfort in knowing that there are people who are surviving and who have survived even stage 4 advanced metastatic uh, prostate cancer. And I had an Excel sheet prepared where, with the PSA score, what did they do and what was the treatment like and how many years they survived and everything done. I have an Excel sheet with that
Hmm.
to just, for my comfort, basically for my comfort and nothing else. So I, yeah, I was able to, tell her that, it is going to be okay and he's going to be fine. And he did not have a lot of symptoms. He still doesn't. So, on the face of it, you will never know that he has something so big going on inside him.
You were clearly getting information and talking to your mom and dad about it. How do you think they felt about your support around this?
Initially, I thought, in India, it's a little different. It's a little different in terms of culture and everything, it's very different. So I I was suggesting a lot of things, but I was mostly being shut down because, like, you're not the doctor, you
Yeah.
know. We can't, like, you're not the doctor, right? So how can we trust you? So that was a thing that I got to hear like most often than not. And so that was the reaction. But it did not stop me from reading or, I now still think, I sit and think back and you reckon that I should have advocated a little bit more and fought a little bit more to get him the right treatments at the right time, which unfortunately I wasn't able to. But that's also because everybody was so rigid around me, and and it has taken me a lot of therapy to come to this point and accept that it's not my fault that my dad has not taken the right treatment, because I was advocating as much as I could, but they did not listen to me. So,
Yeah.
I
Uh,
couldn't.
how did that make you feel?
Yeah, I was really like anxious, frustrated. I knew it is not right, it is not correct, it's something that is not correct, this is not the right treatment that is going on. Like, I knew about triplet therapy, I'd read so much about it, and I kept telling them that this is this SOC outside, like, and it's also to do with a lot to do with the medical facilities and the doctors in India. And it's very different. It's very, very sad that, my life and death is at your hands, right? Like, you're the doctor, you can help me make or break my life, you can help me take that right decision which could do wonders. And I am the most curious about my health. I am the one who's the most curious. It's going to affect me the most. If my dad is asking questions, how is it that you're telling him that I live in Canada right now and I delivered a baby there, and I have, have an experience of, you know, of closely witnessing healthcare facilities in Canada. And I may tell you that they are really, like, I really found out the difference. Here in India, it's very different. Like, they just tell you that you should do this, 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 this. The whys and the why nots are not answered. Like, nobody will give you any more time than that is needed to just tell. They'll just tell you that this is to be done. No whys and nothing. And if you tell them that, if you show them that you have this extra knowledge, and if you talk to them in the medicine language, the first thing they say is, I don't need a Google doctor.
Mm.
Or, but in Canada it is very different. Like, in Canada, like, when I was pregnant with my child, I had a lot of questions, and why the baby is not moving or moving, or is not gaining weight or gaining weight, and they would explain me to me, because and it's crazy because in Canada healthcare is free. It's all government paid. Like you don't pay a penny. And India, it's opposite. Like you're paying money to meet the doctor, and still the doctor doesn't care about giving you the time. If you give me that confidence, and if this disease was something like that, if this disease would work on an SOC that, yeah, you do this, and then it is everybody is getting the same response.
Yeah.
In that case, I would trust your expertise. I would trust that whatever you're doing it right? But in this disease where everyone is treated differently, everybody's response is different, you don't know when Abiratron would stop working. So, you cannot really trust the doctor because they themselves don't know this, that for how long this medicine is going to work. So
Yeah.
if you yourself don't know, you don't have that kind of expertise, and it's okay to not have that expertise. You're not God. I know that. So in that case, just have a conversation. Just tell me. Or if I know something, just listen to me. Just clear my doubts because I'm just asking questions. I'm a worried child. I need to know things. So I think it's I think with this disease, I don't think so. There's a very grave need for conversations.
What suggestions do you have for the son or daughter of someone who's just been diagnosed? How do you help somebody from a distance?
Giving him the comfort to know that, okay, this disease still cannot progress that quickly. And, till the time he had his PSMA PET scan, we all wanted to be just calm and, composed and just believe that, this is not going to be spread over and all of this. So for me, that is one thing that, you need to be really in touch. Second is advocate. Like even if your dad or your mom, whoever is going through, this, just advocate, like fight for it. Just don't stop. Like if they're telling you that, you're not the doctor, you don't know everything. Tell them that, you're more worried about them than the doctors are, really. So that is a very big motivation to learn about something.